We're really putting ourselves as a Facebook alternative. And hey, we're not looking to take over Facebook, but we do think that they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. We're just want to provide an alternative that, hey, we respect our users, respect their privacy.
From Acapulco, Mexico, this is Anarchast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. I've got a returning guest coming on. It's Kingsley Edwards. He was on with me when I was in Las Vegas a few months ago. I don't even remember why. I think I was there for the World Series of Poker. I was also there for Freedom Fest afterwards, and I also went to his event, which was Anarcho Vegas, which he put on with his now new fiance, the granddaughter of Satoshi Nakamoto, or daughter of Satoshi Nakamoto, and it's Erin Nakamoto. And I wanted to have him back on because he's actually started up something in the last few months, I think, that is kind of catching on, and it's really cool, and it's actually super important because of all the censorship going on things like Facebook and YouTube and pretty much everything, Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Like it's definitely, it's almost getting impossible to get like any kind of message but the government message out, the mainstream media message and all that kind of a stuff. So he started up something, and I don't know a ton about it, but I am on it. But I don't know all the details of it, and that's actually why I wanted to have Monks. I wanted to find out exactly what it is and all the details of it, and we should all be trying to get on these sort of platforms. I've been saying for a while that for the video stuff, try to get on blockchain-based platforms and things like that, because really we're already seeing people like Dan Dix of Press for Truth. He's pretty much banned everywhere now, and all he does is talk about truth stuff. Luke Rudowski is demonetized everywhere, and shadow banned. Even this program Anarchast, I'm pretty shocked to see how low the views are on YouTube lately. It's very clear that someone hit a switch somewhere because, and actually I think I know what it was. I interviewed David Icke a few months ago, and then all of a sudden our views went way down afterwards. No one was seeing our videos, and so it's important to get on other platforms because they definitely don't want anyone to know what we're talking about. And so I'm really happy that Kingsley has started one. There's a whole bunch of other ones as well. There's I can't even remember the names of them. There's a ton of other ones. I had on Minds.com a year or two ago. He spoke at Acapulco, I think last year, or I can't even remember. But it's important to get off of those things like FBI book. It's basically a CIA operation, and so is YouTube, and they're just shutting us down. So we should get off and go on to other platforms. So wanted to have Kingsley on, and he's been on before, so I don't have to ask him how he became an anarchist. So let's get right into Flote, Kingsley. When did you start it, and what exactly was the idea behind it?
Yeah, I think officially we started it in February of this year. And kind of the same thing. We've been seeing kind of what's going on in with social media, we've been becoming friends with people like yourself, and Josh from Wham, and Dan from Press for Truth, and just seeing all these people getting affected by some sort of strange things that are happening with the algorithms with all these major platforms. And even myself, last year I noticed. On Facebook, I put like one kind of negative comment about Facebook. Then all of a sudden I realized that my app just starts going crazy buggy. It stops working basically. I keep uninstalling it, reinstalling it, nothing's working. Fast forward, maybe I think it was like a couple days or even a week later, and I see something on Project Veritas where they talked to, I think it was like a Facebook engineer or something, and they released like these lines of codes that basically said that hey, they started kind of messing with people. It wasn't necessarily shadow banning or anything like that, but they released this code where they can basically make your app unusable. So kind of just another weird form of censorship where if they don't like you, they won't even mess with the algorithm, whatever. They're just going to make your app unusable. So it's just really it's really bizarre and just kind of strange to see that. I think a lot of us we all saw this coming eventually. So maybe there was obviously a lot of forewarnings for the last decade really. But now that we're actually here and it's actually affecting us in real time, and you see people like yourself, I think you just got out of like Facebook jail or something, probably for something stupid. It's just affecting a lot of people right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I just want to mention, if you do like this program, Anarchast, we've been around for like 8 years. We've done almost 500 interviews. If you do like it, and you may have noticed you're not seeing on YouTube or on other stuff like that, I think we're on some other platforms, BitChute, I believe we're on. But if you're still on YouTube and you're not seeing our videos, go to our website, anarchast.com, and put in your email. And every time we put out a video, we'll send you an email so you can at least know that we put out a video, because it's very noticeable, the drop in views since I had David Icke on. And I saw someone else mention that as well. I think it was Josh of Wham said that after he did a video or interview with David Icke, all of a sudden his view counts went way down. I know all of us, including Luke Radowski, his subscriber count at YouTube has basically been going down constantly, even though he's putting out amazing content. And it's just like they're just doing everything they can to kind of wipe us off of all of those things. So it's incredibly important to basically get off of those sites, in my opinion, and get on to other ones. And the biggest problem I found, Kingsley, with some of the other ones is they weren't as good as Facebook. Facebook's a multi-billion-dollar organization. They've got a massive amount of technological people. It definitely works well, the site and the app and things like that, unless they shut down your app. And I just noticed a lot of other ones that came out, they just didn't have anywhere near the functionality. And because of that, I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to make this my main sort of social media app. It can't do a lot of things I want to do. And then I saw you did Flote, and I got on it a couple of months ago, and it does a lot of things. I was very impressed at it's got a lot of functionality, and I just heard that you just launched an app for your phone, so that's great. That's sort of like the for me personally, I don't post everything on Flote, because a lot of times I'm posting stuff from my phone, and you didn't have an app before, and I'm not going to go into a web browser on my app. It's just too much of a pain in the butt. So now that you have the app, I'll definitely be posting more. And just so people know, if you want to go check it out even right now while we're doing this interview, you can just go to my Flote page, which is just Flote. That's flote.app/J Berwick, and definitely add me on there. So you decided to start it earlier this year based on what you were seeing. And what is sort of the concept behind it? What makes Flote different than other sites, and even including sites like Facebook? Like, why should people go on Flote?
So I just kind of being in the blockchain industry since 2013, and again kind of seeing the trends of what was happening with censorship, and just seeing how now, like, even just talking about free speech is seen as like controversial, or you're alt-right, or whatever. So,
you're a terrorist.
Yeah. So it's just like what's really going on right now. We're all adults here, and then going through Facebook and Twitter, and it's like, it's like, I want to see, we use these apps because we want to see what we want to see. We don't need Twitter, Facebook, YouTube really showing us, if you want, there used to be a way where you can kind of like, they would opt you into the algorithm, and then you can kind of, choose in your preferences to see chronological. But now they just basically they don't have that option, or even like with Twitter, for instance, they may have just changed this recently, but where they would opt you into their algorithm, and then you would opt out, and then they would just re-opt you in like the next day. It's just so strange. Like, I'm using this app for my what I want to see, the people that I want to follow. So can I just see that how I want to see it? So we and then I tried to go test out a lot of these decentralized platforms last year when I was starting to notice, or actually it was when my Facebook app started messing up, and they just weren't there. It was too technical for normies, even a lot of them, sometimes even for myself, or the apps weren't that good, or like you said, like they just didn't have the kind of the features that we all kind of know and love on the major platforms. So that was kind of the big kind of where we wanted to be is kind of, we don't want to be fully decentralized if there's these particular types of features, they don't necessarily need to be decentralized. And we just wanted to create like a really clean and friendly user interface, and have a lot of the features that people that people use and that are popular on these platforms, available to our users. And we're just focused on giving people a clean experience to communicate with others. And then we also have the crypto side too, built in there as well. So we have some interesting features already where you can send super chats for people that are live streaming on our platform. We don't take a fee, unlike YouTube. We have Patreon model kind of membership subscription and tiers features that are on our that's on our platform, similar to Patreon. Again, we don't take fees. We're really trying to step out of the way of becoming a middleman when it comes to people funding each other, with crypto transactions. So yeah, like you said, we wanted to launch kind of a little bit more feature rich than maybe some of these other apps that are already out there, and we still have a long ways to go, and that's what we're really building. We're really putting ourselves as a Facebook alternative, and hey, we're not looking to take over Facebook, but we do think that they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. We're just want to provide an alternative that, hey, we respect our users, respect their privacy. And we don't want to charge large fees when it comes to transactions that happen on our platform. And hey, our messaging is encrypted, so even if we wanted to read your messages back and forth between you and your contacts on Flote, we couldn't, and we don't want to. So yeah, just an alternative. Hey, let's provide an alternative for people to use, and I think a lot of people, like 66% of people are users on Facebook, do not trust Facebook. So we want to, we feel like there's a big opportunity here to take advantage of a lot of the people that are looking for another place to post their content and interact with others.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just scrolling through my homepage on Flote.app right now, and first thing that comes up is Police the Police. The second thing that comes up is the Free Thought Project. And if you guys don't know Free Thought Project, that's Jason Basler and a bunch of other great people. Put out amazing content, and they were definitely targeted by Facebook. They just wiped their page. I think they had like millions and millions of followers, and one day they just went and it was just gone. There's no way to get it back on. And then they even tried to put up a new one. They just wiped it again, and all they're doing is putting out like real information. A lot of this stuff, even like Police the Police, is just like, hey, here's another cop who just raped a kid. Like this is stuff people should know about, but obviously they don't want anyone knowing about any of this stuff. So a lot of the I guess you would say anarchists, a lot of the people putting out real information, like Josh of Wham and Dan Dix. I don't know if Dan's on here. I haven't seen him, but maybe he is.
Yeah,
he probably is. Yeah, and I'm just scrolling through, and it's all people I know that are on my homepage, which is great. I don't see this on Facebook as much. Amanda Rackwitz just came up, the philosopher. All these people have been on Anarchast. So a lot of the anarchists seem to already be gravitating over to it, and I think it's for a lot of the reasons we just talked about. People just aren't seeing the content they want to see on Facebook and are getting tired of just getting a lot of content they just don't even want to see. So that's actually one of the sort of issues, right, Kingsley, that we kind of worry about a little bit is if all of us anarchists just go to one social media site and no other non-anarchists go, then we're not really, because all of us want to try to wake people up and let, wake them up in their brainwashing, let them know that they own themselves. And if we're just in an echo chamber, that kind of sucks. What's your thoughts on that? Is this mostly just anarchists so far, or are you getting this out to other people as well?
Yeah, I will admit that, and especially in the beginning, it was mostly, a lot of crypto people, a lot of anarchists, a lot of libertarians. It's still, I would say, the majority of people, it still is. But really, we're really focused on not creating an echo chamber. So we're going to be releasing a feature called boards, which is similar to like a subreddit or a Facebook group, so people can even if you are an anarchist, maybe you're like myself where you're vegan too. So you can start a vegan section or other fitness or whatever it is types of things. So kind of more focus groups, things to talk about that may not be politically motivated. There's a host of other features that we're going to be launching as well, including even just tailoring towards the crypto community, because now a lot of people in crypto aren't necessarily crypto anarchists or libertarians. So I think if we cater to a lot of those communities out there, that's another way that we can bring in some different voices and help bring on some different discussions. But yeah, that, like I said, that is something that we're well aware of, and that was something that we noticed too when we were going to the testing out different platforms and apps that were out there right now. So we have some tricks up our sleeves that we think are gonna put us ahead of the others and help bring on other groups of people onto Flote.
That's great. And one little trick that I've been kind of doing lately, and hopefully a lot of other people start doing it as well, is I'm still on Facebook. I'm going to stay on Facebook until they kick me off, because I can still reach less and less every day, but I can still reach people that I want to reach on there. And that's the whole goal of pretty much everything I'm doing, is trying to get this information out there. So I'm going to stay on Facebook and post stuff on there, even if I don't even use it anymore. I might just go, hopefully Flote continues to grow, and hopefully I get all the stuff I want on Flote, which is actually almost getting close to being there already, which is awesome. And then I'll probably just not even go on Facebook much, but I will just go and post my new video or my new whatever, and hopefully that can help it get it out to more people and that sort of a thing. But one thing I've been doing that maybe other people can do as well is when I post on Facebook, I also post on Flote. And then on Flote, when you have a comment or a post, you just click on it and you actually get a URL for the comment or post, and I just post that right under my Facebook post. So every time not every time, but quite often when I post, you'll see right on Facebook, you'll see right below it a link to my Flote comment, and I'm hoping what people do is they click on it and go, oh, Flote, I didn't even know about this, and they get on there, and over time more and more people get on there, and we can all sort of fade away from things like Facebook and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I've been doing, but I see a lot of people have really been going on it, which is great. And I know you have I don't know how techie you are, but you did start a company or a thing called LeetCoin before. I think I had you on Anarchast like years ago on that. And you've started other things as well, and now you've started this. So actually one of my questions is how hard is it to start a site like this? This looks like pretty complicated. Do you have like a team of people? How are you funding doing this? And also, how is Flote going to, be able to fund itself? There must be quite a few expenses for like servers and stuff like that. So, what's sort of like the business model?
Yeah, so we went through Boost VC, which is one of the startup accelerators that's focused on cryptocurrency. Earlier this year, and so we've brought in a couple of angel investors. We're in the middle of raising our seed round right now, so we brought on some more investors that we're excited about, and eventually we are going to introduce an ad model and also an ad free model, so people can pay for a monthly subscription on Flote to receive an ad free experience. Or we will have ads, but the thing about our ads is we're kind of going the DuckDuckGo route, where we're not creating this huge profile of all our people and trying to spy and see every single thing into your private or public life. We're just
you're not going to listen to every single thing I say in my house through my phone,
right? Yeah, I mean
like
it's getting like weird, like where you can just kind of the average person is just like this is something's not right here. It's not. I don't think you have to be an anarchist or some sort of crypto libertarian person or an Edward Snowden type or anybody to be like, wait a second, this is something strange. I mean, every day I can come up almost with an example of even having your phone away from you. And eventually you'll see that ad 5 minutes later, an hour later.
Oh man, yeah, that happened to me just recently. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like in a restaurant. I was eating by myself or something, and I had my phone on the table, and the guys beside me, I could hear what they're talking about, and it was some like random thing that I would never talk about, like snowshoeing or something. And I heard them say it a few times, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just on my phone eating dinner, whatever. And 5 minutes later, I get an ad for like snowshoes on Facebook. I'm like, man.
Right. Yeah,
I have to say, like some people go like that's like invasion of privacy or whatever, and I have to actually kind of like devil's advocate it a little bit. You do kind of agree to that when you sign up with Facebook, and people probably aren't aware of it, but you actually are kind of agreeing to it. And I always say, because when it comes to privacy, in a world today with governments that are massive extortion rackets, privacy is incredibly important. But I always say this as well. I say if we had no governments, and we had just a bunch of businesses all over the world. And the worst thing that ever happened is they kind of like see what you're doing and give you like the best ads that make the best sense that you might want this product. That wouldn't be too terrible. But when you realize Facebook is a part essentially of the CIA and FBI and the US government and the NSA, and they're listening to every single thing you say, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, going back to anarchy, it's all about voluntary agreements. The thing is, a lot of the way that they sneak these types of these agreements, and have you sign them, is definitely questionable. And also there is a lot of things that we don't opt into that they do. There is like, for instance, a lot of these data breaches and things like this. So it's it's just getting to a point right now where hey, I feel like it's a lot of people do not trust Facebook or the other applications. They're messing with the algorithms enough where, like I said, I think they're really starting to shoot themselves in the foot. A lot of people that have built up all these communities over the past years, like Dan Dix and Free Thought Project, which I think had like 3.1 million likes or followers on Facebook. They're starting to get there. They're starting to either see they're losing money, they're getting less engagement, this and that. When you go on YouTube and you search for current events, I don't follow any of the mainstream channels on YouTube yet. It's the only channels that they feed me. So again, we just want to offer an alternative where you can engage with others. You can send payments for free. We'll have some ads eventually, and we're looking into interesting ways where we can share a percentage of those ads with content creators or people on the site, that are actively, creating value and helping us grow our community, and that's
sort of almost like a bit of a Steemit model, a little bit there, where the people posting connect, and they get a lot of. You're posting a lot, like Free Thought Project, and let's say they get like 1 million people looking at their stuff every month, they would actually get a piece of the advertising revenue for that, which I think is awesome. So I'm actually a little bit surprised Steemit hasn't grown bigger than it has, especially back in a couple of years ago. Like, you could go on there and make $5, $10, $20 a day posting stuff on Steemit, and it still didn't fully catch on. I think part of it was the functionality wasn't that great. And I'm not sure what the other part of it was. It's just marketing and stuff like that. It just didn't, and people just didn't know about it. It's still around if people are wondering, but they also haven't really improved the site hardly ever. I think it's still in beta. But that is it's an interesting model, interesting concept for sure, to allow the posters to get some of the advertising revenue, which is sort of like YouTube's model, but Facebook doesn't do anything like that. So that you could definitely have an advantage over them if it catches on.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big things in regards to Steam, is that Steemit is just it was never user friendly, and now fast forward years later it still isn't. I think weren't you one of the first ones to make like Steemit pretty big as far as, because I know you had like one big post, like a $10,000 post on there a while ago.
Yeah, I had a few people tell me about it, and they said, just go on Steemit and post something. I'm like, what's Steemit? And they're like, it's part of the Steam blockchain. I'm like, what's the Steam blockchain? I didn't even know about it. And I was actually just going out, and right before I did, and they kept badgering me on him. I was like, you should. I'm like, okay, I'll go there. And it says, hey, post something about yourself as a welcome message. And I just copied and pasted my bio. And I said, hi, I'm on Steam. And I hit enter, and I left for a couple hours. I come back, and I look, $15,000.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's definitely changed now. I still post on Steam. Actually, all the Dollar Vigilantes content we post first on Steam, because I wanted to support Steam. And just like I want to support Flote, I want to support anything that is not like these big CIA operations and more free and free-minded and stuff like that. And I do still post all Dollar Vigilante content first on Steam, even before we put it on our website, which really hurts our traffic to our website and the Google rankings and all that kind of stuff. But I don't care that much. I want to support Steam. But now our posts get about $2 to $5 per post, which is still, for if you lived in Africa or something, that'd be okay. But I'm not doing it for the money, but I'm doing it because I want to support these sort of alternative options for people.
Yeah, I think it's important right now for everyone to just kind of check out kind of what's out there, get a feel for what they like, and yeah, maybe even myself, I'm still on Facebook. I use it most to promote what I'm doing at Flote, but it's important. I mean, every time you open an app, or every kind of click you make, or every minute that you're on a Facebook, you're helping generate money for them, versus maybe an alternative where maybe it doesn't have all the features you like yet, but hey, sign up, create an account, set up your profile, see who's on there. And I bet, especially with Flote right now, we've already seen a lot of content creators that have come on, and they've experienced like really good engagement, especially when they promote it to their community, because now you have people like Josh from Wham, who, when he goes on Facebook, he has, I think at least tens of thousands of people that follow him. His engagement is so low because they just shadow ban him. So he's very surprised when he goes on Flote. We don't have 2 billion people on there, but his engagement is actually much higher because people are actually seeing what he's posting. So I think it's the time now to even just look at, if you are building a community elsewhere, to maybe consider building them. Or if you're building a community on one of the major platforms, it's probably smart, especially if you're involved with anything even slightly controversial. A lot of even non-controversial stuff is getting tagged and demonetized or shadow banned. But set it up on alternative platforms, and just test the engagement. And I think over the next year or two, there's probably going to be a lot of us, including yourself, Jeff, who won't even be allowed to be posting on Facebook. So at least you'll have your backup ready, and your community will already be there and know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm actually surprised I'm still on YouTube and Facebook. I very surprised I am. There's going to definitely, you could just see it happening. You just see people just getting totally banned. I have so many friends who just aren't even allowed on Facebook anymore, Free Thought Project and all that. And you can just see it ramping up. And this is not going to stop. And there's going to come a time where a lot of us who are speaking out about free ideas, free markets, all these crazy ideas, they're just going to wipe us right off. And if you don't have at least another something else going, you're going to be kind of cut off from your normal sort of audience, or your normal your ability to contact people and stuff like that. And actually, I want to throw this in there too. Every time I've been put in Facebook jail a few times, and I use Facebook Messenger sometimes to contact people. So just like I use Telegram or Signal, I've got so many. I'm just looking at them all. Wire, WhatsApp. I don't use Skype hardly anymore. That's like the worst of them all, just for garbage. But what I've really noticed is when I'm in Facebook jail, which so many of us are, right? And none of us are doing anything heinous or crazy. We're just posting something that the state or the system doesn't like. And when you get banned or put in Facebook jail, you can't message anymore. So I'm a business person. I do a lot of, so I'm messaging people like, hey, look, we have a meeting here, and it'll be on Facebook Messenger for if I get kicked off for a week, I can't even contact those people. So this is something that everyone should be aware of, getting off and at least having alternative options. So if and when, and I think it's when, you are kicked off, you still have the ability to communicate with the people you want to communicate with. So don't leave it to the last minute. In fact, everyone right now watching this, just go to Flote.app, sign up, and try to get into the habit, just like me, of when you post on Facebook, post on Flote. And like Kingsley said, you might be surprised, especially if you're an anarchist, because there's so many, all the anarchists seem to have gone over to Flote. You might see more responses from your comments on Flote than on Facebook, because most people on Facebook just aren't even seeing them. So definitely recommend people get over there. I actually want to get a little bit into, you have an interesting story about CBD oil and your grandfather. I also want to get into a little bit of crypto stuff. But is there anything that we didn't touch on with Flote that you wanted to make sure people knew about?
No, I think we covered it all. I mean, just, yeah, we have, like I said, a really exciting, growing community. We're, I think having a lot of, your people join as well, and a lot of them already on there. But I think people will be really surprised by all the features that we already have. We're still in beta across the board, but we have a lot of features that we're going to be building out this month and the months after. So I just connect with what you already said, is join Flote, Flote.app, and give us a follow. Especially Jeff, was it Jay Berwick, I think, on Flote, right?
Yep. And so we were just at Anarchadelphia, which is another spin-off of Anarchapulco. And I should mention that both you, I believe you and Aaron will be speaking at CryptoPoco. Didn't we discuss that? I've been so busy.
I will be. I'm not sure about her.
Okay, I couldn't remember exactly what happened there, but yeah, you're definitely speaking, so that's awesome. Coming up February 13th to 16th, and of course you guys have Anarcho Vegas, which I want to ask you if you're planning on doing it again. I'm pretty sure you are because it was quite a success. And then we were at Anarchadelphia, and you had an interesting story about your grandfather, and I ran into Clive DeCarlo, who's also been on Anarchast, who does amazing health stuff, and he also has been in Anarchapulco and stuff like that. So I guess two questions in one. You planning to do an Anarcho Vegas again next year? And secondly, tell us a story about your grandfather and how he was healed with this cannabis oil, I believe.
Yeah, so we are doing Anarcho Vegas. We're also doing now Crypto Vegas. So it'll be Crypto Vegas will be on July 18th, I believe. Anarcho Vegas will be the day after July 19th. And we just got our venue. We just signed the contract. Hopefully, nothing strange happens again like that occurred last year. But yeah, we're really excited about it. You can get tickets now for Anarcho Vegas. I don't think Crypto Vegas is available yet, but if you just go to anarchovegas.com, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. On to my grandfather. Yeah, just crazy story. So he had, I'm not sure, maybe there's a way where we can show some of the images here, but he started getting a really bad skin cancer. Patches. This basically it looks like his face is falling off. Just really sad. He's how old is he now? He's over 80 years old now, and so obviously this is on my mother's side, and my mom was getting really worried about kind of just seeing this. It seems like it kind of sprung up from nowhere, and luckily enough he was about to go into surgery. And he decided to test out Rick Simpson oil, or RSO, and within basically less than a month, he was already seeing results by just applying it topically. And within 2 months, I want to say, we're getting more of the documents now, so we can show people just how powerful this medicine is. He was fully cured. Inside and out, and you can see in these photos. I mean, I posted on Facebook and Flote, and people, they basically don't believe me because of how just incredible like the healing powers of this stuff is. And so it's just a crazy story. A lot of people have reached out to me since and said, oh, my grandfather has issues, or my sister, or this or that. It's just so sad to see that all these people that cannabis could have helped throughout these decades of it being illegal, almost a century maybe, and now finally we're somewhat able to interact with this stuff without the threat of violence being shoved down our face. But it's just it's just a story that we wanted to share with people because I think it's so important that people at least do their own research and look into this, because if you or a loved one are suffering, potentially it could really help you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up because Rick Simpson's been on Anarchast, and I totally didn't think to, I haven't talked to him in a while, and I didn't invite him to the health and wellness portion of Anarchapulco, so I'm definitely going to do that. We haven't announced any of the health and wellness speakers yet. It's going to be dozens and dozens, like I think over 50 of some of the top natural health people in the world, and a lot of them are doing stuff like what you were talking about with your grandfather, just stuff that really works as opposed to what the doctors give you, which basically just kills you for the most part, and that's on purpose. And we haven't announced any of the CryptoPoco speakers, but that should be announced in the next few days. So there's a little inside tip. Kingsley will be one of the CryptoPoco speakers. And we've started to announce some of the Anarchapulco main stage speakers. Check it out at anarchapulco.com. You can still, I don't know when this video is going to go live. It might be too late for the early bird ticket, but you can still get tickets. We're expecting to sell out, hopefully 3,000 people, February 13th to 16th in Acapulco, Mexico. And Kingsley, is there anything else you want to mention before we finish up?
No, I look forward to seeing you and everybody else at Anarchapulco. It's always a great time.
Yeah, man. So we'll look forward to just a few months away now. Time flies. Yeah. And so we'll leave it there. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share down below. Please try to get on things like Flote. If you are, definitely follow me, and I'll try to follow you back as much as I can. And we'll leave it there. So that's it for Anarchast. Your home for anarchy on the internet. Peace, love, and anarchy.
Anarchapulco, it's so hype, I'm trying to tell ya. This the event of the year and best vacation ever. Ron Potter, Jeffrey Tucker, just to name a few. Get your tickets, you don't wanna miss it. You should roll through. Talking politics to health and self-improvement to investing. So many things, not one thing. Learn how to live life unchained, yeah. 4 days vibing on the beach, time to connect. All about growth, way more than a conference. This is Anarchapulco, yeah. Let's go.
You ain't seen nothing yet.